It is showtime, everyone, and welcome to an all-new Downright Sports here on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, your cell phone, wherever you want to put it. I'm your host, Brent Reid. This is the most underground show that you will ever watch on any social media platform. It's a sports show from a fan's perspective. I give it to you raw. This is the so-called season premiere. We're going to, just be rolling. Today's the NFL preview special. In the second segment, we're going to touch on the NFL and talk about the upcoming season. In the third segment today, we're also going to talk about the top 100 players. I'm kind of go through who I think should be in different order, whatever. As we start every show with the first pitch, and we kick it off. Wayne Rooney of the MLS DC United is done. He came there in 2018, helped them make the playoffs. He's now done. After this season, he's going to go back to Europe, and he wants to be a coach. Wayne Rooney, about 33 years old, me and him around the same age. He's pretty much probably sick and tired of playing in MLS. The guy being his best years are behind him in European football and American football. He's one of the best players. So that kind of gives you an idea. He's the man playing with kids. Moving on, the NCAA passed a new rule, basically now for the college players to talk to an agent. The agent now either has to have a bachelor's degree or 3 years of some experience. It's been deemed the Rich Paul rule because Rich Paul, the agent to the elite NBA players, LeBron, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, and etc., doesn't have a college degree. He didn't even go to college. He was best friends with LeBron. When LeBron made it, he put his man on. Well done, LeBron. But this is the NCAA basically saying to him and guys like your ilk, hey, you will one-up us. We are in charge. We are the top dogs. We run the gate. We don't want someone like you, an outsider, making all the changes. Rich Paul basically changed the whole dynamic of the NBA this year. He basically created Anthony Davis to LA. He made that happen. Now the NCAA and the NBA, for that matter, is not a big fan of his. But this is clearly an old guard telling a new guard, hey, stay out of our way. It's unfair because if Bill Gates, no college degree, Zuckerberg, no college degree, wanted to approach college kids and hire them, there'd be no rule stopping them from doing that. And the NCAA needs to be stripped away, needs to be taken away. I'm going over my time. I don't care. I need to get this off my chest. The NCAA is a joke, and it's basically a way to keep poor kids, you can phrase it how you want, and keep them down and keep control over that. If you look at who's in charge of the NCAA, go do your research, you'll see why some of these stupid rules are still in place and why some people still flourish and some people don't, and why this year, when you look at the landscape of coaching in college football, the top 20 schools, I can promise you, the top 25 schools, you may find 1 to 2 black or minority coaches. You say what you want, but it is what it is. A zebra's a zebra. Every day you paint the stripes. Anyway, when we come back, segment number 2, we talk NFL. I'm going to have a little fun. I am hurt, so it's going to take me a while to change the segments and change the film. Old school talk. We'll be back. Segment 2, Downright Sports. Ba-ba-ba-ba. All right, check this out. The NFL is back. We'll start up in a few weeks. Preseason actually starts officially this weekend. You get to see some of your favorite teams in the first string play for the first few minutes. Don't mind the pillow. In any case, let's take a recap of what happened last year. New England did what it always does. They won another Super Bowl, and Tom Brady proved he is ageless and keeps going. We saw an MVP and potentially the new cream of the crop in quarterbacks, and Patrick Mahomes winning the MVP last year, just going off 50 touchdowns and 5,000 passing yards. The kid just bombed it out. Saquon Barkley showed that the Giants had one sign of promise. Yeah, they still attacked. They still were very, very bad. Even though Saquon set all kind of rookie records, 100 yards from scrimmage by a rookie, most 100 yards per game, most 50-yard touchdowns from scrimmage by a rookie is pretty good. So hoping promise from there. And then a bunch of guys decided they wanted to leave their teams and want more money. With that being said, let's take a look at how we're going to break down this year. A couple teams you want to take a keep an eye on. I'm a little winded because walking these crutches suck. But you got New England, you got Kansas City, you got the Browns, and you got San Francisco. San Francisco, you say. Nobody's talked about San Francisco. Let's look at it. Last year, they lost their new shiny toy, Jimmy Garoppolo. First game went down towards ACL. He is back. We get to see him now with his coach and the group of guys that didn't really change a whole lot or take a whole lot. Can they now win an NFC West that has been controlled by the Seahawks for a while, but now the Rams are the pretty new shiny toy at the top of that division? Can they oversee them, or can they find themselves in a wild card position? I think the NFC is open for at least a wild card. I think some of the divisions is already set. I think on the East, it's a toss-up between Philly and the Cowboys. I think in the West, in the North, Chicago, Minnesota, and Green Bay are going to duel it out. And then out West, the South, you got Carolina, Saints, Tampa, Atlanta. That division is just weird. You flip a quarter and anybody can win that. And then out West again, San Francisco. This could be the year San Francisco can oversee Seattle as the number 2 team. And then you got the Cleveland Browns with that whole new roster of guys. You got Odell Beckham joining that team. You have Baker Mayfield, his second full year. He's got the team on his back. Cleveland's got a quarterback. Well, we'll see, because now, unlike the kid's first year, now there's a playbook out there, there's game film. You're not going to be able to keep that same intensity every game. You're going to have to tone it down. Even Tom Brady tones it down. You can't every game try to play college football, shorter season. You can do that. NFL, longer year. You gotta pace yourself, kid. The Kansas City Chiefs, will they repeat winning their division, getting back to an AFC championship game, but this time getting over the hump? Last year they had a fantastic game against New England, but of course New England does what they do and they win. And speaking of New England, is this the year we see the decline? And a decline for New England could be losing in the first round. To be honest with you, Tom Brady is 42 years old. Bill Belichick has been around forever. There's only been so much intervention he could come up with. They've lost one of the greatest tight ends of all time in Gronkowski. What will the team do? Because the team is not known for going to get big, flashy names. They're going to take a bunch of no-name guys and they're going to try to work it out. The fortunate thing is they play in the AFC East, where the Jets are the Jets. Miami is Miami. Buffalo is Buffalo. So they really have no true competition unless one of these two teams sneeze, land on a penny, heads up, and accidentally walk themselves into the playoffs. I don't see the Jets getting any better. I think they're a year away, and Miami is starting Ryan Fitzpatrick. That should tell you something. And then we got players that have been on the move. Who's going to be good? Who should we watch for good or for the bad? You got Odell Beckham in Cleveland now. His biggest complaint was New York was too much for him. He was having too much fun being in the limelight. Well, now you're in Cleveland and you're still going to be in the limelight. And the question is, when you're not the centerpiece, because Cleveland has another wide receiver that is just as good, are you going to be okay? Because I got the feeling that Baker Mayfield, the other guy you should watch out for, is not going to just target Odell. He's going to find a way to win. And Odell kind of has the T.O. gene, but in the worst way. He doesn't understand when you're in a good situation, just shut up and ball out. I mean, you can express your opinion, but come on. You were playing in New York. New York made you famous. If Odell would have played in any other city, say Odell played in Miami and made that spectacular catch, like the game that made him a superstar, I promise you, ESPN will show it twice, they would have moved on. Todd Gurley for the Rams, he needs a strong bounce back season. He needs to rush for like 5,000 yards because in the Super Bowl last year, he crapped the bed. He didn't show up. He didn't basically show up the whole entire playoffs. They said he had a knee injury. I think he got the hips. I think he got a little nervous. I think he was so, it's one thing to be the man on a JV team. It's nothing to be the man on a Super Bowl looking winning team. And then Antonio Brown, my man decided he's going to leave the Steelers with a Hall of Fame quarterback and go to Oakland with a quarterback that they try to trade. So, yeah, we'll see how his year turns out. And then Patrick Mahomes, boy, you do for 50 touchdowns and won the MVP. Everybody's gunning for you. Will his career continue to progress and he just elevates himself as one of the best, or will he have one of them years where he went from sugar to dirt really quick and he just basically goes from throwing 50 touchdowns? If he throws anything less than 45 touchdowns, he has had a disappointing year. I'm saying it right now. Now, if he gets hurt, the team goes in a different direction and run the ball more than pass the ball, it's different. But you throw 50 and 12, you got to at least go 45. I'm just saying. And I'm not going to predict the Super Bowl because, the rosters haven't been set yet. We're not going to do that. What we will do is come back in the next segment and talk about the top 100 players and wrap up the show. Downright Sports. All right, everybody. Welcome to the post game. We're getting ready to wrap up the show. Let's get some promotional work out the way. If you enjoy my show, and you like to hear more of this illustrious voice, if you have Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, or Google Play, go check out my podcast, I'm Just Talking. Yes, it is a sports kind of theme show, but at the same time, I talk about other stuff. I touch on more social stuff and more personal stuff for me. Also, check out our Fast Break show. You'll see that a lot on Facebook and Instagram. A much quicker show. I just touch on 1 or 2 topics of that day. Go to Twitter, Brent Reid 18, and just talk to me on Twitter. And then go to our Instagram and our Facebook page, which is Downright Sports. That's my name. Let's take a look. The NFL dropped its top 100 players from this coming year, and I think their list is a little bit off. All right, it's a little weird, and I don't know how. I think the players vote on the list actually and who should be where. I'm not going to break down 100 players. What I'm going to break down and think is why were some guys in certain places. So, for example, like Ezekiel Elliott, 18. You're telling me Saquon Barkley is better than Ezekiel Elliott? I think Saquon is great, but better than Ezekiel Elliott? You telling me a guy who missed the playoffs, Aaron Mr. Rodgers, is better than a lot of other guys? I don't see how Aaron Rodgers is ranked 8th. And this reputation of Aaron Rodgers being this all wonderful, great guy just got his coach fired. Great quarterbacks don't get coaches fired. Just saying. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't say Eli is not elite and not great, but yeah, he has 2 Super Bowls. Aaron has 1, and it was really off of Brett Favre's teams. And since he's won that one, he's literally done nothing. Say what you will, Tom Brady has 5. He's 42 years old and may win it again this year. Aaron Rodgers is 5-6 years younger than him, and they're questioning if his team's going to make the playoffs. Julio Jones at 9. How is Julio Jones better than Odell Beckham Jr.? I just don't see it. If you put Odell Beckham on Atlanta, I think Atlanta is a 10 times better team. Todd Gurley crapped the bed in the playoffs. How is he ranked over Tom Brady? Brady 6th, Todd Gurley 5th. Patrick Mahomes is 4th under Drew Brees. Where? This guy threw for 50 touchdowns. He single-handedly Patrick Mahomes carried Kansas City into the playoffs. And Drew Brees, still great, but I don't see him. Maybe we switch those two. Antonio Brown at 7. I don't really have an issue with that. Luke Kuechly at 24. He was 12 last year. Luke Kuechly, I don't care how hurt he was. Luke Kuechly is one of the best defensive players in football today. If you have a fantasy team and you draft the defensive players, you're taking Luke Kuechly. That's how good, solid. That guy is just a rock. You can put him anywhere, and he's beast mode. He's much better than 24th. Russell Wilson is better than 25th easily. Andrew Luck, 20 is probably a good spot for him. I don't know who put this together, and it doesn't look good to me. Aaron Donald at number 1. I'm not going to argue with that. I think the guy is a monster. Vern Miller at 10. That's a tough one for me. There's too many players for me to go through this list, and I think it's a cop-out that they do top 100. I think it's dumb anyway. The top 20. call it a wrap. Man, nobody cares about the top 100 guys. After like, some of these guys will say nobody even going to hear over a year from now. Just let it go. All right, let it go. Anyway, thank you all for watching. We're back. New show next week. I'm still going to be gipping around. Probably talk fantasy football. How about that? We'll touch on that. And just keep watching. Revolve it. Subscribe. Leave your comments. And deuces.